Now imagine turning your kitchen into the ultimate hub for organization, entertainment, and even controlling your smart home. A place where your family can plan meals, share schedules, dim the lights, adjust the thermostat, or even watch Netflix or YouTube, all on this 32-inch touchscreen. So today I'm going to talk about a device that combines the power of a calendar, smart TV, and smart home controller all together in one. And trust me, if you run a busy home, you're going to love having something like this on your wall. Hey there neighbors, I'm Ryan the Tech Guy, and welcome back to This Smart House, your destination for the coolest in smart home gear and the best in home automation. Today we're checking out a tech upgrade that my wife has been really wanting, a massive smart kitchen calendar. Now there's no way I was gonna buy into some system that locks you in to what you can do with a device like this. So I was super excited when I found out that the Cozyla Calendar Plus is actually a fully functional Android tablet. That means no lockdown software and no monthly fees, giving you complete control over how you use it. Whether it's controlling the smart home, organizing our busy family schedule, or streaming our favorite shows, this device can do it all. So a big thank you goes out to Cozyla, who is sponsoring today's video, and of course sent this over for me to take a look at and share with you. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the Calendar Plus packs a ton of features into its 32-inch design, making it a very versatile device for your kitchen, living space, or even office. So this isn't just a TV, it's a massive 32-inch touchscreen that's got a 1080p HD resolution, giving you a bright and clear display for everything your family accesses on a daily basis. So this is actually running Android 13, which means no restrictive overlays and full flexibility to customize it however you like. So if you've had any experience with Android tablets or phones in the past, this is going to seem very familiar. Now, unlike some devices, this actually has full access to the Google Play Store, meaning you can go and install almost any application that you can find out there will work on this. So like most mobile devices, you can stream Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, or YouTube right on the screen itself. If you're a music fan, you can play your favorite tunes with Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, whatever you want. There are two built-in speakers that are pretty decently loud. Of course, the main driver on a device like this is productivity, so you can install things like Google Keep, Todoist, or even Notion. And my personal favorite is access to your smart home control. So you can install things like Google Home, SmartThings, or even Home Assistant. Now, unfortunately, if you are an Apple Home user, you cannot use that on here because of course, Apple doesn't allow that to be installed on Android. But if you use Home Assistant, you can connect most of those devices through it. And of course, since it already has the Play Store on it, it has access to the Google suite of apps, including Google Calendar, Gmail, Keep, and others. You can also sync calendars from Microsoft. And if you are an Apple user, they do have an application on here that will help synchronize two-way Apple ICS files. This means you can bring together all of your family's calendars into one place. Now let's take a look at the hardware itself. Now it does come with a wall mount included in the box. It is mounted on a standard 100 by 100 VESA mount, so you can install this with any other custom mount as long as it fits that size. And with the included wall mount, it can be rotated in and out of either portrait or landscape mode. Now if you look over here in the corner, you'll see the power cable. This is actually a DC power supply, meaning there are some additional options that you can have for hiding that wire. I'll go into that here in a second. Now along the back, there's a number of ports, including a USB 3.0 and a USB 2.0 port. This can be used to either charge devices or add additional hardware in the future. There's also an Ethernet port for solid wired connection, which is a nice touch. And an HDMI port so you can connect it to an external display or another device. And a USB-C port for more modern connectivity. Now there is a built-in microphone, but there's no camera on this device. So you can't do video calls out of the box. But if that is a feature you are looking for, they do sell an optional 4K camera that attaches to one of the many mounting points on the back of the tablet. This allows you to make and receive calls using Facebook Messenger or Google Chat. Or if you really want to, you could hold Teams or Zoom meetings from this device. So installing the Calendar Plus is pretty straightforward, and they include pretty much everything you're going to need in the box. So first of all, you're going to need to select a location. So we put ours right smack dab in the middle of our kitchen. We have this nice little gap here between our pantry and our refrigerator. Now you're going to want to try to find some place that has a stud. Unfortunately, there's not one in the middle of my wall here, so I end up having to use wall anchors. So you're going to want to use the included template to figure out a great place for the wall, and go ahead and mark those 4 screw holes. So make sure you also use a level to ensure everything fits well. Next up, you're going to want to drill pilot holes. If you're mounting on a stud or backing plate, you can just screw straight into that. But if you're using wall anchors, you'll need to drill a larger hole. I actually opted for some of the screw-in type that I already had. So once you get your pilot holes mounted, and if necessary, you get your wall anchors installed, then you can go ahead and screw the backing plate onto the wall. Then you're going to want to install the pivot side of the bracket on the back of the tablet. Once you do all that, you can connect it to power and slide it into the wall bracket. Now there is a set screw at the top that you'll probably want to go ahead and install to make sure that it doesn't pop off the wall if a kid runs by and hits it. Now, as I mentioned before, this does have Wi-Fi on it, but if you want a more stable connection, you can use Ethernet. I am currently investigating using PoE+, which supports up to 60 watts, which will take care of the power for this device. But I ordered the adapters and they haven't shown up yet. I'll have links to them down in the description. I'm pretty sure it's going to work because it supports up to 60 watts, which is what the power supply included uses here. Another option would be to extend the DC cable if you have a power outlet nearby. Or finally, if you really need to get to it, you can install a wall box behind this and connect it to AC power. They also sell an optional kit to hide the cables, but you can also pick one of these up from your local home goods store. Now, if you're looking at the device from its standard orientation, on the bottom here, there's actually a power button and 2 volume buttons up and down. So you'll need to press and hold that to power on the device. Once you get powered on, it's going to walk you through the setup process. After a few minutes, you will be asked to connect to your Wi-Fi, sign into your Google account, and then select the device's orientation. You can always update the orientation later. It just changes the layout of the default widgets. Now, we have a family Google account that we use for our devices, but you can certainly sign in to one that you own. If your whole family is using Google, it's very simple to set up a shared account and then put them as part of your family group so they can see your calendars and get access to all of your apps, and if you happen to have it, your YouTube Premium. Once you're signed in and it comes back to the home screen, you'll need to tap on each individual widget to get it to set up. So it's going to ask you which calendars you want to select for the calendar, for example, or which Keep list if you're using the Google Keep. So this is the default home screen that comes in when you boot up. If you have this in landscape mode, it's going to look a little bit different, but it's going to contain the exact same widgets. Now this is actually running Nova Launcher, which means if you've ever used that on any of your Android devices, you can pretty much have as much flexibility as you want. And these are all just using standard Android widgets. So at the top here we have a clock. Mine came in 24-hour time, but it's really easy to change that back to 12-hour time. You've got a weather widget. You've got quick access to toggle on and off the dock, which is here at the bottom. And you've got a one-click access to the app drawer. Because this is running a modern version of Android, it uses the swipe gestures. So swiping up lets you go home or change apps. Swiping in from the left side of the screen will then go back. So below that, we've got the month view from a Google Calendar, and then we've got an agenda view on the bottom left-hand side here. Now it's very easy to click on any of these items and have it bring up a quick pop-up of what that calendar event is. You can also hit the plus button if you want to add in a new event. We also have a Google Keep list down here in the bottom corner, and then along the bottom, there's the dock. This is where some of the preset apps that you can gain quick access to. So by default, we've got the Play Store, a group of Google apps, the Cozyla apps, a screen lock, which when you click that will instantly lock and turn off the screen. And then we've got quick access to settings. Now, of course, these are completely customizable and you can easily add your own widgets in the future. And if you've never done that before, you just need to press and hold on a widget and you can select remove or resize. And if you want to add a new widget, you just press and hold on a blank space, click on bring up the widgets, and then select any of the ones from the list. So to add a widget, you want to press and hold, and then you can drop it anywhere on the main screen. If you don't have enough room, all you need to do is drag it over to the side and it will let you create a new page. Then I can swipe back and forth to have multiple different desktops. Our plan right now is to basically have a general family one, and then as you swipe, you'll run into mine with my calendar, and then my wife's, and then my son's. So now that the Calendar Plus is installed, I'll tell you kind of my plan for using it. Now, of course, by default, we have the basics like time, weather, and calendar along with our to-do list. But you can, of course, swap this out for any other application. You use Outlook, you can switch it out with the Outlook calendar widget. If you use Notion or Todoist, you can swap it out from one of those widgets as well. And if you have multiple family members that use different applications, just create a different desktop for each of them and have their custom widgets show up on there. Of course, for us, this is primarily going to be used for smart home control. So on here, I have the Home Assistant Companion app, which is very powerful. Not only can you control your smart home from it, you can also control the tablet from Home Assistant. Now, if you don't use Home Assistant, of course, you can use Google Home or any other applications. So from here, we actually already have our kitchen set up. And so I can quickly toggle on and off the fan, the lights right over here, even the overhead light above me. So I have full control over my home from this device because of course it's running Android. You can even set it up to get notifications when somebody rings your doorbell. I've actually got mine sending a notification and a picture through the Home Assistant companion app. Then with a single click, it takes me into the special dashboard I created for the front of my house, including all of my cameras and control over the locks and lights. You can also bring up your security cameras. So if you want to see if somebody's at your front door and you have that tied in here, you can open up your Ring or Reolink or Eufy app, or set it up to have notifications pop up automatically. Now another cool feature that's included is split screen. So if you pull up from the bottom to switch apps, you can click the split button in the bottom and then select a second application and have two applications running at once. So if you want to have a YouTube video playing at the top while you got a recipe pulled up at the bottom, that's easy to do. Now, one thing that I'm starting to play around with is actually controlling the tablet from Home Assistant. If you'd like to see a video on this, let me know, and here in a couple weeks, I'll put something together. So I've actually got it to where Home Assistant can signal this tablet to turn on and off. So it's super nice because I've actually got it tied into the motion sensors on this floor. So if it detects somebody in the kitchen area, it'll automatically turn the tablet on and make the timeout longer. Then when nobody's home or everybody's on the second floor, it'll actually turn the tablet off, saving the screen. So if you do use Google Photos for your pictures, you can actually set up the screensaver on this to play photos when the tablet is not in use. But not to worry, if you aren't a Google Photos user, there are a number of screensaver applications available on the Google Play Store that lets you integrate with things like Facebook or other applications. So because I'm using a shared account, I don't have any of my photos in that account, but there are some third-party applications that let you connect to a shared Google Photos album. But by default, you can play pictures off of the device if you want to download them, use Google Photos, or have a clock. So as of right now, ours just plays a clock when nobody's using the device, but here in the future, we'll have it set up where it plays a playlist of different photos. Now I know that was just a quick introduction to what this is capable of. Of course, being just an Android tablet means you can do pretty much anything you want with it. Now it doesn't have a built-in onboarding system that kind of forces you down a specific path, so some users might find it overwhelming, but I really like having the ability to kind of do whatever I want with this tablet. Now the next question you're gonna ask is what's the price point? And it's pretty hefty. These come in at $899. Now that is an investment, but this is a 32-inch tablet. They do offer two smaller sizes if that's something you're interested in. But for us, it's a standout feature, and because we've already invested so much in our smart home and we have a very busy life, having a digital calendar up on our wall makes it invaluable. Plus, I can do things like warm up my Tesla before I leave in the morning, or quickly control my smart lights out front. This definitely has some advantages over a smaller device like a Google Home, and really can become the center point of your house or even your office if you want to set it up that way. And I've mounted it low enough to where my kids can actually interact with it. I know my oldest loves turning on and off the Christmas tree using this tablet. So as my smaller ones grow up, it'll be nice to give them the option to be able to interact with this, play a game, or be able to bring up music or videos that they want to watch. And of course, if you're already an Android user or are using Home Assistant, this makes a lot of sense because you have a ton of flexibility and you can control it directly from your smart home platform. And if you don't want to go through all that trouble, you can still install any smart home application you want on here, get notifications, check your cameras, all of that. Plus, having the ability to share our shopping lists and reminders is another huge plus for us. Now again, I know the price point's a little steep, but if you're looking for something like this, it definitely can justify that. I know my wife was already looking for one of these, so of course that price point makes her happy, so it pays for itself. Now if you're interested in picking up one of these, please check out the links I have in the description below. Now they just ended their Black Friday sale, but they may have new sales coming up for the holiday season, so make sure to check out the pinned comment for any sales that I find. And another big thank you goes out to Cozyla for sending this over for my family to play with. Now, hopefully I'll be able to post some more videos here in the future if you all are interested, so please let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel for more great smart home content. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I try to answer every question that's asked. Now, if you want to get started with your smart home journey, I've got a whole playlist right over here. And if you've never installed Home Assistant before, I've got a great introduction right over here. Thank you again for making it this far, and I'll see you on the next video.